And good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cloud Chats. It is September 2nd, 2021. This is episode 27 entitled Docker Fees, App Platform Updates, and a Long-Awaited Return. And I bet you can all see who has returned. Chris, welcome back.
Hello, everybody. Good to be back.
Chris!
Good to have you back. We definitely missed you.
Yeah, good to be back. I am refreshed. Had a good, nice break. Sometimes you just need to let your brain mellow out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to that, hopefully, when I go on vacation soon. But we will see. Sometimes I just end up doing more work on vacation than I do at work, and I have to learn to stop that. So, okay. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Mason, and these are... That's Matt, that's Chris, and that's Kim. Where is Kim's cat today? I think they're downstairs playing on boxes, right, Kim?
Yeah, I have the door open in case they want to come in and take a nap on the cat tree, but they are like, I have a big box and they're like bouncing on top of it and then crawling into it and generally being cute and obnoxious.
We need a cat cam just in the corner.
We do. Well, Chris used to have the bunny cam, right?
I did used to have the bunny cam, and my Wi-Fi just could not handle streaming a 1080p camera from Bunny Cage, this stream, plus like all the other random things. It just couldn't do it. What's up, Love Cash? Good to see you again.
Awesome.
Hey.
Looks like he's more interested in Kim's cat now. But
You've been replaced, Chris.
As soon as I'm back, it's like, okay, we don't need him anymore.
Anyway, well, good morning, and if you're in the chat, let us know where you're tuning in from. Definitely want to hear where all you're from, and I'm currently in Austin, and everyone else, where are y'all currently residing?
I am in, well, just outside London in the UK, so other side of the world from Mason.
I'm in Denver, Colorado in the USA.
I'm over in Las Vegas, and I think Mason's going to be visiting me pretty soon.
I will be. I'm coming out on a road trip across the West again, and I will be swinging through to see Chris, which will be exciting.
Oh, wow.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So for our Hello World this morning, this is something that we talked about in our DevRel meeting this week, but because we have a cold open every week, but it's what is something that you are grateful for? I like these non-tech related Hello Worlds. So what are you great? I'm sorry, my dog has got his head on my desk and he's just staring at me.
You told me that once again, you all three of you have prepared for this Hello World because you've already done this once and I haven't.
We
Yes.
gotta stop telling Matt that we do this.
Yes, and because of that, Matt, we won't make you go first. So I guess I can go first since I already have my answer pretty much up, and because it's the same answer every day. It's like I'm really grateful that DigitalOcean's a remote company. Like I was skeptical about remote work whenever I joined in October of 2019. It was my first foray into remote work. I didn't know if I was going to like it or not, and now it literally says on my LinkedIn resume, if you want me to come into an office, don't waste my time or yours. I won't accept your job. Because I'm never going back into an office if I can help it. I love remote work, the flexibility that it gives you around life. Like I have to go run to a doctor's appointment later today. I don't need to worry about taking time off or any of that stuff. I'll go to the doctor's appointment. I'll work a little bit later tonight because I don't have to be at an office. I can just do it. And that's just really, really valuable to me. And I can, make my own lunches and dinners, and I control the thermostat. So there's a lot of great things about not being stuck in an office.
I like that.
I'm quickly becoming a remote work evangelist. Kim, what about you? What are you grateful for?
So it's September 2nd, and it's sort of the changing of the seasons. If you're in a part of the world where there are seasons. So where I am, it's the days are getting a little shorter. It's getting slightly cooler, but you can just tell like some leaves on some trees are turning yellow. So I'm appreciating just like the change of season and sort of the natural opportunity you get to reflect on what's happened in the last few months and sort of what you want in the next few months. So that's what I'm grateful for. Chris, let's have you go next.
Yeah. I'm just calling out chat real quick. Lovekesh says, excited for today's website review. Me too. I think,
Yay.
yeah, I took a peek at those. They look awesome. And Talpa getting into our next segment about Docker. So
That segment is just Docker.
What am I grateful for? Well, let's see. One, that I have such great co-hosts that say, you know what, if you need a break, go for it. So that was a good time. And on a more, I guess, future note, there's a Roomba going around my house right now, and I'm pretty thankful for that right now. So I'll have a clean house after this cloud chats.
I have a Roomba, and that's, if you don't know, it's like a small robotic vacuum that you could like pick stuff off the floor and then let the Roomba go. And I really like mine. It really helps me keep my place tidy.
Did you all talk about Tesla Bot last week?
Mm-mm.
No,
Okay.
we haven't talked about Tesla Bot yet. That thing creeps me out. I don't want to talk about it.
That thing picks things up and puts it back in the pantry.
Oh, dang.
It's literally the movie I, Robot. Okay, Matt, you've had adequate time.
Sure. I don't know. I guess I'm grateful for like my colleagues at work, right, putting up with my antics. I don't know. I deployed a full new service to DO, a public new service to DO on my own 2 days ago, and just everyone put up with me just making PRs in random repos across the org to deploy it. So I don't know. People are very chill here, and I'm really grateful for it.
It is chill.
Can you say what it was?
Yeah, the back end to Hacktoberfest.
Yeah.
Brand new
Nice.
service.
Ooh, it's
We're
coming.
only,
Which is
we're
really
less than a
cool,
month away from Hacktoberfest.
Absolutely terrifying because it means it's my code on the line this year for Hacktoberfest.
Oh no, Matt, I hope it doesn't break. We wouldn't want there to be issues around Hacktoberfest.
Wow. Wow, we're going there. Okay.
Yeah, no, we're not. That was a little. We flew over
Too soon,
there,
too early.
and now we're banking hard to the left and going away from there.
Well, let's call out some people in the chat. Welcome Eric from Rochester, New York, in the U.S. Andrew Gonzalez, hello, welcome. And then we've got Samantha saying she's grateful for her wonderful teammates and everyone is super supportive of one another. So, yeah,
Ooh.
I can appreciate that.
And now let's move on to the news. Woohoo! News time.
Oh, that's some news.
I love good news and good sound effects. So, and now it's time for our weekly news segment. Every week, my co-host and I gather up the latest interesting news in tech and science spaces that we can find. And I don't see any space news today, so we're doing good. When you hear this sound, it means we're moving on to the next segment, because if you've watched these segments in the past, you know that we can ramble around this stuff for hours. So
and you bet you we're going to do it this week.
Yeah, and we are. So whenever you hear this sound, remember, it's to tell you that we're moving on, but it's also to tell my co-hosts that we are also moving on. So I'm actually really happy that we've added this new segment that we do in the news at the beginning, which is let's just talk about this week's releases really quick. So Node.js 12.22.6 and 14.17.6 released. I assume these are patch version LTSs?
Yes, they're LTS patch versions for security updates, namely Node tar. Last month, there were security updates for Node tar as well, based on a report. And then a full audit was done this month. And so this includes a load more vulnerability fixes in Node tar. So if you're on 12 or 14 major versions, please update.
Yes, we like secure web. The secure web is the good web. And then it looks like QEMU 6.1.0 was released as well. Looks like that's probably a... Let's pull that up. What is that? Is that just a minor version release?
Yeah, it's a minor version. I love the stat at the top, the first line of the release page. This release contains 3,000 plus commits from 221 authors in a minor version.
That's totally minor. But I mean, oh wow, they're doing a lot of like.
And then the highlights bit was kind of just over my head. So
are they README typos? What's going on?
No, they're actually. It looks like they're adding a lot of support for a lot of different architectures, and good on them for still supporting PowerPC and S390. Like, these are like, wow. Like, I don't even like. I think you have to call IBM to get a PowerPC processor made these days. Like, I don't think the general public can get a hold of them anymore.
I have no idea what QEMU is. Can you all tell
Virtualization
me?
software, quick, easy, quick emulation. Oh, I don't know what it stands for. So on Linux, I think it's the default, isn't it? Like, kind of think like KVM, Kim.
Okay.
It's an easier version of like KVM for Linux for virtualization, and I do believe we use it in some places at DO.
Cool.
So yeah, it's used for virtualization support. So it's pretty cool. And now into our actual stories, and we had to put the most spicy one on top. Docker has updated and their existing product subscriptions. So you may have gotten an email that says that Docker Desktop has updated to a paid subscription for any company that is 250 employees or greater, or has 10 mil, or has, it's an or has here. Got to get those logic statements right. Or has 10 million in revenue a year or greater. Yeah. So this is a very interesting release and a really interesting move by Docker.
Yeah, so if you're using Docker Desktop and Docker knows your email address, you will undoubtedly have received an email about this in the last few days, informing you not only of the change, but of the fact that the change applies almost immediately in terms of the service agreement. By continuing to use Docker, you agree to the new agreement, and the licensing fee goes into effect on January 31st, I think, off the top of my head.
Yes.
So you've got a while to prepare and get the money ready, but
yeah. And this is only if you're using Docker Desktop. So the Docker engine local to your say servers and stuff is still open source and available. But this is if you're using Docker Desktop to install Docker and develop on it, which, I mean, I do. Like, a lot of people who deploy Docker locally on their machines are using Docker Desktop, and I don't know. This is an interesting move. I was a lot more upset about it yesterday than I am today. I think I've chilled out a little bit today.
I thought they were going to limit it to, like, it's not even version specific. It's just Docker.
Yeah. It's just Docker Desktop. It's not even version specific. So you can't like avoid updating.
Unlike the previous attempt at getting money out of people with paying to skip a version where you could just stay on an old version. You can't avoid this. And
it was January 2021 or
22.
It is 21.
It's yeah.
So that's only like 3 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's an interesting thing. I mean, like, we've seen Docker struggle to try to find a revenue model that works for them for a very long time now. And I guess this will work. We will see. The sentiment around this in the open source community was not positive.
There's a lot of fire on Twitter when this announcement came out.
I think one thing that really conveys the sentiment currently is that on the front page of Hacker News, number 3 currently is Podman, which is the completely free and open source alternative to Docker.
Yeah, I did see a good tweet the other day, though, is that like Podman's, it said that, I mean, it's like Podman's for nerds, and it is, because Podman is it's complex. Like, it's not Docker. The whole purpose of Docker was its ease of use. I mean, it's not like Docker invented containers. Okay, LXC containers existed for 30 years before Docker was thought about. This is not new technology. They made a very useful interface around it that made it really easy to work with. So.
So what does this change mean for me?
If you're
I use Docker Desktop.
If you're a personal developer and you are using Docker Desktop, then it means nothing for you. If you are using Docker Desktop for work purposes, you are going to have to pay for a subscription. You and your company will have to determine how they're going to pay for a subscription, or your company is going to have to figure out what their policy is. Going forward. So I assume that if it's on your work laptop, you will undoubtedly eventually be getting some notification from your from your company about what to do next or what the next thing will be.
Is that enforceable? Like, how would Docker know?
They have their something of something. I can't remember what their titles at all. So I apologize for not giving you a good, accurate source, but Corey Quinn was tweeting about this, as Corey does. And the responsible person at Docker did reply and basically said, it's not overly going to be enforced. They trust users to pay themselves if they think they fall into this band.
Got it.
But as we know, like, this is now in a service agreement, so any company that falls into this band will be paying, because that's a huge legal risk for that company if they don't.
All right.
Yeah, I don't the retroactive stuff of it. I don't know. I'm getting Oracle vibes.
Yeah,
and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Man, we skated around this one.
I don't know. Like, it annoys me.
It does.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
It does, yeah. That's where I'm at too. Like, it annoys me. Best of luck, Docker, in all of your future endeavors. We will see how this plays out for you. Our next story comes from a really cool blog post from Red Hat. 30 years of Linux, and Red Hat has decided that after 30 years, Linux is indeed successful. That's not actually what they said. But on the 30th anniversary of the announcement of Linux by Linus Torvalds, Red Hat has released a blog saying that it all worked out because of the way that the operating system was licensed. In the post celebrating the anniversary, Red Hat said the reason that Linux has been arguably the most successful operating system of all time is due to the fact that its license allowed copying, improvement, distribution, and required sharing of changes. Note that the license does not require collaboration, but the reciprocal nature of Linux strongly encourages it. So yeah, Linux is 30 years old. I think it was really recently too, right? Like August 25th, I think is the date.
Yep.
In 1991. So 30 years old. Happy 30 years to Linux. And I guess thank you, Linus, for everything that you've done and all the core contributors of Linux.
Yeah.
We would not have jobs right now if it was not for the Linux operating system.
I saw a good tweet that was basically like, if you've ever interacted with any piece of digital technology, you've probably interacted with Linux. So it's pretty
definitely
pretty powerful statement. Like,
you have to go really out of your way to not have done it. And I don't think with all the embedded devices these days, I don't think it's possible.
Yeah.
To have not dealt with Linux.
I think this is a wonderful poster child for GPL as well. Like, a lot of people have issues with the license, but this is just a wonderful use of the license.
Yeah. GPL v2.
Yes.
I have strong opinions about GPL and v3, and AGPL and everything else. It has been the year of licenses and never mind, we want money kind of thing. Like, it has been the year of open source software becoming less open in my mind. Just an observation, nothing to do with the last story we just covered. Or
the previous stories we've covered.
Or the previous stories we've covered.
Searching things.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. Our next story comes out of the land of sadness.
Chris, I apologize. It's going to take a while to load. It's broken gist.
How
is the long and the short?
Why? How is it how do you break gist? It's a static site.
I think it's the comment history that just takes forever to generate.
Okay. So there is a very long gist that you can if you search for discord.py, you will find it. But essentially, it's the story of a non-technical person who started a cute little open source project to build a library for Discord. And over the years, basically just burned out of open source development, and then current changes going on with the bot architecture of Discord has led to the retirement of discord.py. It was the only Discord Python library. So now there's no longer a Discord Python SDK, and it's I don't know. I read through this whole thing, and it's a sad story of just open source maintainer burnout.
Yeah.
And also that not just that, but also companies that rely on open source communities not handling those relationships in the most perfect way. Could have been handled a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, this stems from a bigger kind of upset in the Discord bot community currently. If if you don't develop bots, you probably don't know about this, but most bots on Discord currently rely on like the actual content of messages being sent to work and figure out their commands. So you'd be doing like an exclamation mark and then a command, and the bot sees that and responds. And Discord has rolled out recently a new feature called /commands, which lets bots kind of have commands integrated right into the Discord client without relying on chat messages. And that was fine. And everyone was okay with that. I was like, cool, new feature, cool little thing. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. And then Discord came out with the news that they're planning to retire access to message content for bots in next year. Essentially forcing bot developers to switch over to /commands, which didn't go down as well because a lot of people don't want to switch over. And it's only 8 months notice to do that, which for a lot of bots isn't that long to redevelop your entire bot from the ground up. And that's the bot developers. I'm not talking about the libraries. Like Discord.py is a library built on message content, and they don't support /commands. And this whole post is basically Danny going, I don't have the energy to add support for /commands.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a pay your open source maintainers.
Yeah, was he able? I didn't really read through all of this. Was he able to ever monetize
No.
in any way?
He didn't
said,
want it.
Doesn't
I've
support
never,
funding.
yeah, never accepted donations, never asked for donations.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, I guess, his fun little side project.
Yeah, it says
And
in the opening paragraph, he says, I'm not even a programmer, like professionally, I work at a hospital. So that's.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
like, in my mind, one of, I think, like 4 kind of mainstream libraries for Discord. And it's just gone. And it was the only mainstream one for Python.
yeah, and it led to me canceling a tech talk that I was giving next week because I can't willfully go through and give a talk on a technology that's no longer supported. Like it's just not right. So anyway, in a quick segment away, here's a dancing cat because we've been covering a lot of sad news, and I feel like we need a dancing cat. So here's a pretty kitty who's dancing, stretching, giving us the what for. So
this is what I mean by we need a cat cam. We need this all the time.
Yeah,
Well, Kim's
cute.
cats are back too.
Oh,
Yeah,
cute.
one of them's. Let's see. There's
Nope.
one.
Yeah.
It's very hard for me to
It's
point.
hard.
in the
See, it's
right
hard.
direction.
I'm not the only one. Good. It's not just me.
That was extremely difficult.
Pointing in a mirror. Well, our next story is also sad. I'm blaming Matt. He writes most of the news content. So
Clearly I was just in a bad mood when I wrote the news this week.
obviously you are. Western Digital confirms that a solid state drive flash change has caused some pretty devastating issues. So recently Western Digital changed the NAND flash memory in one of its most popular into NVMe SSD models, the WD Blue SN550, which devastated writing speeds, leading to a 50% performance hit. That's a big number in hardware whenever you have 50% degradation.
Yeah, and this was like in the same model. They didn't really announce it. They just changed the flash chip and kept selling it as the same device.
Ooh.
They have now acknowledged that this is happening, but they're going to keep doing it.
That's not good. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's to me, it's like 2 things that annoy me. It's 1, the change in the first place isn't really cool, but 2, it's the even now that you've been called out, you're not going to start selling it as a different model so people know. It's just, yeah, you're like playing the lottery now. If you go and buy one of these, are you going to get a fast one or a slow one?
Oy.
Yeah, and like when you have NVMe, like you expect some speed to that, like it's an NVMe drive. So
there you go. There's the more hardware side of cloud chats coming to say hello.
Yay! And our last story is coming out of security updates. Npm is deprecating TLS 1.0 and 1.1 support. So beginning October 4th, 2021, all connections to NPM websites in the NPM registry, including the package installation, must use TLS 1.2 or higher. GitHub states they are committed to ensuring the security of their services and the privacy of their users. Previously, they removed support for TLS 1.0 and 1.1 for GitHub services. So now that, if you didn't know, GitHub owns NPM. This year, they will similarly deprecate non-HTTP access and TLS 1.0 and 1.1 for npmjs.com, the public NPM registry. So security is coming.
Yep. Most likely won't affect you unless you're running a legacy client of some kind. But if you are, heads up.
Yeah, or if you rolled your own, but hopefully you didn't. I feel like rolling your own stuff is interesting.
Yeah.
And again, some cats.
Oh yeah, cat jam.
Cat jam.
Jamming.
Cat jam, yeah. welcome to Cat Chats, where we talk about cats and more cats. Okay, and now it's
Look at
time
this.
for True or False. This is the normal segment of our week where I pose 10 true or false questions to my host, and they have to tell me if the answer is either true or false. Straightforward, just like elementary school. If you win, you get Sammy stickers. So this is audience participatory. Go to kahoot.it and put in 7647990, or as you see on the screen over here. I totally got that right on the first try. And while we wait for players, we're going to go through some of our chat messages because we haven't done that in a second. And then Kim will give us the word of the week. So our few questions.
Where do we get to in chat?
What
I
do
thought
we have?
we've missed quite a bit.
Yeah.
Gagan? I don't know. When are we having Hacktoberfest 2021? In October, same as every year. It's coming.
Yep, it's coming.
I know we haven't said anything about it yet, but it's coming. I promise.
Yes, it will be coming, and we will have.
Yeah,
I'm super excited. I'm always excited. Hacktoberfest is my favorite part of the year.
Stressful, but definitely a great time of year.
Stressful but fun.
Love Kesh,
Green-
you looks like you had some issues with your Hacktoberfest swag. Sorry about that. Shipping stuff all over the world is complicated, and it's not perfect, especially local postage providers. They're not great.
Yeah.
I talked with Cotis and DHL about it. There's not much we can do on our end, unfortunately.
Yep. We have someone saying hello from Twitch. Hello, all of our Twitch users. We're happy to be here with you.
Green Chapter, welcome.
Yes, super excited to be on Twitch finally. Frank asks, is Java OpenJDK under consideration for app platform? So Chris, do you know anything about a Java build pack?
I do not.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I wish I had more info. As far as, I don't have any info on that. Mostly our recommendation is like looking at the sample apps on the docs, and if you don't find which you're looking for in there, probably lean to maybe a Docker setup.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can roll anything with Docker, right?
Yes. If you can put it in a Docker file, you can deploy it. So even though the Java doesn't have a build pack directly available for it, you could roll your own. You could just put a Docker file in there and App Platform will build it for you. Or you can create a DigitalOcean container registry and then directly deploy, push your Docker image locally to the container registry and then directly deploy it from App Platform. So App Platform doesn't just support languages, it also supports anything you can put inside of a Docker image, which is really exciting. It's honestly what makes it really cool.
We should do I know I'm signing myself up for this by saying it, but we should do a lightning talk where we containerize a simple app, maybe push it to a container registry, and then just talk about that process.
Yeah, we definitely can. Kim signed up for it for next week. So, Kim, time for the word of the week.
Excellent. All right. The word of the week this week is content delivery network. I usually hear it as CDN. So a content delivery network is a group of servers distributed in different locations. Small CDNs may be located within a single country, whereas large ones can be spread across data centers around the world. And when I first got into tech, I had an interview for my first tech job. I did not get this job, but the interviewer said, do you know what a CDN is and why are they cool? And so now I know, like CDNs are interesting because there's like a data center that's close to you and it might have things cached. And so when you request a site, the CDN can give you that the image or the information like a little bit more quickly than if it was just whatever data center it was on. So I know that Cloudflare is a CDN. There are other CDNs, but I would love to hear from. I'd actually like to hear from Matt. But yeah, y'all tell me more about CDNs. What do you think of when you hear that acronym?
Yeah, Cloudflare. That's what comes to mind. Partly because I do a lot of stuff with them. But yeah, in general, they're a CDN. One of the larger ones, and it's free to use. If you put your domain through them or send your traffic through them, through their proxy service, they will automatically start caching stuff for you over their edge network. There are others as well. There's like Bunny CDN comes to mind as well. Fastly is a CDN service as well. So there's lots out there. They all do the same thing, really, right? They just cache your content, or you give them specific content to serve, and they just spin it up all around the world for you automatically. And then through the magic of essentially Anycast DNS, a user request makes it to the closest server.
Yeah.
This is a good question we got from Twitch. Are CDNs only for serving static assets?
Ooh. Conventionally, yes. But, and I'm going to plug Cloudflare content here, Cloudflare workers let you have runtime JavaScript or WASM at edge, because they essentially just distribute your executable code to all their edge servers and will run it for you.
Yeah,
essentially as a CDN code.
That's the new hot big thing is functions as a service running on the edge. Running distributed through a CDN. So that's definitely something. And yes, Lovekish brings it up because obviously he needs our job. DigitalOcean Spaces is also a CDN. So if you use DigitalOcean Spaces and you upload static assets, you can click the CDN button and your assets will be distributed across all of DigitalOcean CDNs and creating this localized cache. So yes, DigitalOcean does have a CDN product and it's known as Spaces. It's basically our object storage platform. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started with the game. Also, if you're hearing any weird audio things, please let us know, because we're hearing weird audio things. But
yeah,
no,
I can't tell what's going wrong.
No one's brought it up.
Having a moment.
It might be. No one's brought it up in chat. So, like, there were just weird, like, repeating words, and apparently I was also doing it. So
maybe it's WebRTC being WebRTC. Who knows?
WebRTC. Like, if you ever wanted to strap some stuff together with duct tape and throw it across a wire, it's WebRTC. So anyway, here we go with our true or false. Remember that if you can join in later. So if you join in a minute and you're not in the game, if everyone's doing terrible, then you still have a chance. And this week's theme is round 2 of animal group names. What are these animals grouped called?
This is the one I want to be good at, but I'm not.
So here we go. A group of badgers is called a seat. Is a group of badgers called a seat?
That's
True
a cute
or false?
GIF.
I wish it would keep showing the GIF after I press a button.
I agree.
It's a
It's
shame.
on Mason's screen.
Okay, and this is true. Okay, apparently everybody knows what a group of badgers is called. Yeah.
Is there
Dandy.
more to it?
I mean, they're either true or they're false, and I tell you what they are. There's not really much explanation on this one.
We're going to get like the etymology of the word or something.
No, I didn't go that deep. Next question. A group of cats is called a clouder. Kim should know this because she has one.
I'm not going to answer just so I have a GIF to stay up.
It's a good strat, Chris. I like this. I should mention, though, that answering fast is part of the game. You get more points the faster you answer.
This is true. A group of cats is called a clouder. And remember, some of these have like multiple words that they could be. I think there was one other word. I didn't write it down, so I don't know it. But a group of cats is called a clouder. Dandy Yeti up in second. Diplomat Falcon. It also should be said that if you've won before, you can win again, and it unlocks bonus prizes.
Ooh.
Oh, for real?
I actually set that up this week because our guest from last week had won, and I didn't want to send the same stickers, so they get the next level of swag. And there are actually 8 different levels of swag if you continually win true or false. So
It's surprisingly well planned out. I'm really curious what these levels are now.
Yes. Next one, a group of chickens is called a flock. Is a group of chickens called a flock. And they are very interested in what is going on with that water faucet.
I like that GIF.
It's a chicken tap, obviously.
What
It's
are
like
the
same color?
what's the thing called on a chicken?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it's called. This is false. A group of chickens is not called a flock. A group of chickens itself is called a brood or a peep. Because they go peep. It's called a brood. And whenever a chicken, have you ever heard of like brooding, like a brooding chicken? It's whenever a hen that lays eggs is become like really defensive of her eggs and won't get up. And then they will pet you really hard. Chickens are mean. If you've never actually raised chickens, chickens can be absolute mean people.
Okay, the thing on the top of a chicken's head is called the comb. COMB.
Okay. Dandy Yeti's doing great, but Epic Wolf coming on up. Here we go. Next question. A group of 12 cows are called a flink.
Like specifically 12.
A group of 12 cows is called a flink. This is true. I don't know why it is, but a group of 12 cows, specifically 12, is called a flink. No idea why. Oh, Epic Wolf going up, but Dandy Yeti still getting the points. Next question. A group of crocodiles is called a siege.
Oh, well, that's just not friendly at all.
That's very appropriate.
I hope you're enjoying
the GIF. Is that relaxed? Relaxed crocodile.
A group of crocodiles is called a siege. Is this true or false?
Like life goals right there, that crocodile.
This is false. A group of crocodiles is known as a float. A float of crocodiles. It is a siege of cranes.
Either way, it's terrifying. A siege of anything.
Dandy Yeti is 5 for 5.
That's me. I'm sorry. I'll slow it down.
Is it really you, Chris?
Yeah, I just having so much fun with the GIFs. I'm actually just guessing.
Okay, well, if we have to tell Chris to slow down. A group of doves is called a convocation. I'm surprised that you're getting. Go ahead. That's fine. I mean, like it's.
We'll send you a sticker pack.
Yeah. Well, if Chris wins, then it's just the next person. So, a group of doves is called a convocation. Is this true or false? This is false. Yeah, that was a nice split. A group of doves is called a dull or a duel. D-U-L-E. It's a convocation of eagles.
How do people make up these names?
Yeah,
I've never heard any of these words ever.
I literally think some people just sit around and do this. And also, where can we sign up for that job?
Yeah.
It's this job and... Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. A group of whales is called a pod.
Oh, that's a nice GIF.
Called a pod.
Is this going to be like a specific type of whale? It's called a pod, but not all whales.
I'm enjoying the GIF. This is true. This one was kind of a gimme. A group of whales is called a pod. Okay, good. Dandy Yeti. So Diplomat Falcon, you are coming up, but Epic Wolf, you're not that hard behind. Next week's question should be about geology. Andrew, I haven't done geology yet, but I've been thinking of other scientific fields I need to do. I'll probably go back to tech next week. It's been 2 non-tech weeks, so A group of woodpeckers is called a rafter.
That's
Is
a
it-
mood.
That's a mood.
That gift is just a mood.
Just banging your head against wood, like.
But still making progress. So it's like the slow, unhappy grind.
Yep. This is false. A group of woodpeckers is called a descent. A descent of woodpeckers. It is a rafter of turkeys.
A rafter of turkeys.
Okay.
Your search history must be the most bizarre thing.
You have no idea. Well, it's also like I eventually find a list of all of them, and then I go through the ones that I think are the most interesting. Might still be able. What's up?
I also want to see the search history in your mind of like how you choose these topics.
True or false is actually like one of the hardest parts of my job. A group of wasps is called a nest. Is a group of wasps called a nest?
A group
So
of
there's
wasps should be named something mean. Like a
So-
murder.
You have a nest of wasps in a wasp nest.
This was good split. Good false. Wasps live in a nest. It's a pledge of wasps.
A pledge.
It's a
That
nest.
makes them sound far too friendly.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a nest of vipers.
Ugh.
Yes. And our last one, and I think you're really gonna love the GIF. Oh, Epic Wolf. If you get it and Diplomat Falcon doesn't, you can take
Yeah.
over. Next question is a group of sharks called a shiver. Those are
It's Sammy.
It's perfectly timed with the music too.
that's interesting. That was not intentional. This is true. A group of sharks is called a shiver.
There we go.
So, what do we have?
Nice, Epic Wolf.
Dan, thank you, Chris, for giving it up. But Diplomat Falcon, 8 out of 10.
Yay.
You are the winner.
That's
Yes.
impressive.
So, if you are the winner, send me an email to mason@digitalocean.com with a screenshot of your winning screen and your mailing address. Everything I need for your mailing address. Don't forget the zip code. Everyone forgets the zip code. Those are important. So I can send you some stickers. And if you've won before, let me know and you get the next round, the next layer.
Don't lie about it though.
Yes, don't lie. Well, don't lie back, because I'll go back and look. I will recognize your name, and I'll probably start keeping a list. But the next round are actually some Sammy pins, which I can show you.
Oh.
Yes, we have pins. I have if you don't know, part of living the advocate life is having 400 million things of swag in your house, so you look like a madman.
I don't even have a pin.
You don't? I need to send you some.
No.
Okay,
No,
well,
I want to earn them.
I can't find the ones that I'm looking for, but you'll be getting an OG original Sammy pin. This is Pony Sammy. So you'll be getting two. So they look kind of like that. This is Dinosaur Sammy. But you will be getting 2 pins shipped to you if you win. And then basically it goes all the way through that. Then once you get all the way through the pin rounds, which are like 4 or 5 rounds, you get Stress Ball. Little Sandy Stress Ball. And then eventually I just throw whatever's in Codas at you. So
Just send the entire warehouse.
send the whole warehouse. Yes. If you win 10 times, you now work at DigitalOcean. It's your job to fulfill orders.
Maybe
Not
not a job
binding.
you want.
Yes. So be careful what you wish for. Okay. Well, that was a great game of true or false. And now we're moving on to hitting 2 buttons at once. Lightning tutorial. Where I think Chris is going to walk us through some new app platform features. Chris, how's it going?
It's gonna share my screen. And yeah, so this is coming off of a Tech Talk, which you can find the recording for that on the YouTube channel, DigitalOcean's YouTube channel. But App Platform is our platform as a service, and we just released a nice new round of updates. So I just wanted to quickly go over them and bullet point them, because a lot of them are highly requested, really cool features. So number one is trusted sources for our managed database solutions over to app platform app. So if you want to connect an app platform app to a database, now you can make that connection secure so that only that app can connect to that database. And to do that, you go into your databases, you click into one of your databases here, and then under here, under trusted sources, you can just click edit. And over here, trusted sources edit, you can now get this nice drop down of all of your app platform apps. So really, that's actually the most requested feature of app platform is trusted sources. So good to see that one got shipped.
Nice.
I'm hyped for that. It's going to be a really useful feature.
Yeah, and like super easy on the config. So that was nice to see. And yeah, so the next feature that we want to talk about is alerts and monitoring, probably the second most requested feature. So if I have an app and I go into my settings here, you can now configure these alert policies. So right here, let me zoom in. You can do alerts for failed deployment, successful, and you can go to your email. You can set up multiple Slack channels, and you can link a bunch of Slack channels, or just go straight to your email, and you get this nice, really looking email. And
Oh,
down
that's great.
here, yeah, it's definitely good to have. I don't know. I like doing failed deployments and then not knowing about them, and then it just makes me feel better when I don't know about them.
And then you go looking at your app and go, I thought I'd change that.
I like having those alerts sent to a Slack channel that I can mute if I want that. But
good strategies all around. Yeah, and then you can also do alert policies for metrics as far as CPU, memory, and restore
rad.
counts.
Oh, brilliant.
And then you can just set your threshold, which you decide based on your application what you're comfortable with. 80%, maybe 50%, all depends. And again, straight to email or Slack, and you can do it per component. So right now I only have the one, but you can do it on, let's say, databases or a single component.
Ooh. I always like new features that make me happy.
Yes,
I like the
especially
restart count one. That
Yes.
seems really useful to me, so you can
Yeah.
get alerts if it's crashing lots.
Hooray for crash loops.
Let's see. The other two that we have are mono repos, which are, so this is already a mono repo, and you can tell because this Golang app right here is from this GitHub repo, sample mono repo. And then you can pick the directory for it to deploy from. So I have this API directory,
Nice.
and then over here, and then we have the front end directory from the same repo.
That's cool.
That's cool.
So here's that sample mono repo, just API front end, all the different folders, and you can just have everything live in one spot.
Now I get to sit around and contemplate with myself, should I have a mono repo or not?
Yes, mono repos are cool.
I still have to jump on board. I'm not fully on board myself, but they are pretty cool.
Oh, just like
if it's an app that I want someone to be able to easily like deploy with, like the deploy to DO button, it makes sense because I'm like our Chris and I made an RSS reader when App Platform first released, and it's in 3 different repos, and you have to know exactly how to go get that. And like if I want to just like here, click this button and you get it, mono repo makes so much sense for that.
The topic in our dev channel at work is just mono repos are cool.
Is that like the Slack thing that shows at the top
private
of the
dev
Slack
channel? That's just mono repos.
I like it. I mean, even as I like being able to visit the code all in one repo, even on GitHub. Sorry, Chris, keep going.
No, it's cool. I love I this is making me reconsider my thoughts on mono repos. And the last one is StackBit integration. So if you don't know StackBit is a Jamstack site builder where you can pretty much like have a UI and edit your site, and we can deploy directly to GitHub now. And I'm putting a link in chat if you want to check it out. So let me show you what that link looks like. You can go in here and you can pick your theme. I don't know if any of these shout to you and look good. If you want to pick one real quick, anybody, real quick.
App.
Green one. I don't know.
App. Kim wins.
Kim wins. Works for me.
Yeah, so you get your theme, you get your static site generator, go into GitHub, deploy into DO, and then you can just click create. And I already have one of these built out. So you go back here. That's this magenta Neptune one. And it goes straight to DigitalOcean. You have your site right here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, super cool.
That's nifty. I like that. I'm going to play with that later.
And then the extra cool benefit is if you open this in your StackBit dashboard, you can edit it directly and deploy it directly to.
Oh, cool. So it's like GitHub's code spaces where you can edit in the browser.
Yeah. So they have an editor, and then they also have like a UI GUI type editor, which takes a second to load, but really cool to see these integrations.
I love when you can spin up like a landing page and get it deployed in like 10 minutes. That's one of the coolest things, I think.
Yeah, all the magic, and you just send out the link because it'll be live on that platform.
Amazing.
And that wraps it up for all of the new app platform features. Been a busy few months for the team, so good to see.
Good work, app platform team.
Cool. So that wraps up our lightning tutorial, and next we're on to site reviews,
which I don't have a sound for. We're gonna do this sound.
Wait, make one up
for like 5 seconds. Do 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 do, and then now we're going on to site reviews.
Oh, good improvisation.
Yeah. Okay, so we're reworking our format for these site reviews. What are we thinking? Let's call out maybe like 5 big tips we want to give for each site review.
Yep.
I like that approach.
Yes. Yeah, we'll talk through the site. I'll take some notes, and then we'll prioritize the feedback, and we'll talk about things we like and things that we recommend you change.
Perfect. And we have 2 for you all today.
Yeah, I can share my screen.
By you, the audience.
Yeah.
All right. Our friend Lovekesh has submitted this site, codebulbs.com. I like the color scheme, the black and then the really bright colors.
Bringing in the green so it evokes that like terminal feel.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And it looks like, have we seen code bulbs before?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't recognize it anyway. Oh, I love his animations.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, and especially the card carousel, if you scroll up a little bit more, has some great animations.
Oh, nice. Okay, very cool. All right, so far we've got, we like the color scheme, we like the animations. Yep.
And Lovekesh, you've got content.
Yeah, a ton of content.
One thing that does stand out to me here is this hero being bright white on a dark mode site. Feels like my eyes late at night are not going to enjoy it.
So when Matt gets up in the middle of the night and goes to codebulbs.com.
It is that usually when there's like a dark mode, you get like the cards go to maybe a light gray, like around #444 type. But like I do get the benefit of making the cards pop, But yeah, maybe integrating the color a little bit more mellow than. I don't think it's pure white either, though.
Doesn't look like it. I'm gonna. All
Yeah,
right.
it's definitely an off-white.
So-
Oh, look at this. Markdown file's ready to go.
That's right. We like the color scheme. Love the animations.
Love the animations. Lovekesh says I already ran Lighthouse on it. Let's go do it again because I don't remember the results.
Okay. Tell me what to do, Chris.
So go right click and inspect. Pretty much right click anywhere on page.
Let's see. Okay. Inspect.
Inspect. Hit Lighthouse in those tabs on the
Oh,
top there.
Dang.
What do you think, mobile or desktop?
I
I
would
think
say mobile,
desktop.
just because
Oh.
we'll do desktop first.
All right. And then is there a go button?
What's the
Generate
error you're
report.
getting? Is it
Multiple tabs are being controlled by the same service worker. Close your other tabs on the same origin to audit this page. Oh, I have it open in a different window. Okay.
service
When does
worker?
that be an error?
Oh yeah, it's been recent. I think it's if you got like PWA type stuff.
Okay.
So it looks like this will pass the PWA.
This is so cool. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this is all in a browser. Whoa.
Good.
Oh,
to
look
see.
at that.
Beautiful.
Wow, look at that, Lovekesh.
So much green.
So much
Lovekesh,
green.
what's the stack?
Yeah. I'm curious now.
First, contentful paint. So this is really good to see, especially when you have images, because images usually bring down contentful paint and time to interactive. Well, time to interactive is more JavaScript, but it looks like you did the work on doing responsive images, which is good to see.
Right. All right. So we've got four pieces of feedback.
Shall we do a mobile run of the audit and just see if that's any
Yeah.
different?
Lovekesh
that
says
idea.
it's JavaScript. Like
More
Is it just-
detail of cache. Like
Yeah.
what framework? Is it static? Is there a server running in the background? What's the dealio? Kim, if you go on Lighthouse and press the little
Thank you.
the deny symbol, I don't know what they call it.
Oh yes, that one.
That one, and then switch to mobile and run it again. We'll see if it's any different. The only reason I suggest running mobile is that's how Google ranks everything nowadays.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow, this-
I'm looking through the source. It looks like you've gotten all your work done for SEO. You've got your JSON LDs. All right, so now we have to dig to find like the feedback because this is a fantastic site.
So in the it's 87 is still a very high score, but it says in terms of best practices, it looks like some errors were logged to the console.
Usually when you see that, it's also sometimes third party
Yeah.
does it, which
Yeah.
sucks.
That does stink.
Oh, you know the one that really annoys me that Chrome punishes that I think is really ridiculous. If you make like an API call to check if a user's logged in, and it returns say a 401 because the user's not logged in,
hmm
that automatically logs an error that you cannot suppress, and then Lighthouse marks you down for it.
Docks
And I'm
you for
like,
it.
that's the correct status code that's being returned, and I've not thrown an error here. You throw the error.
Yeah, and then what's the other one? I get hit with it all the time is excessive DOM size. And it's like,
Excessive DOM size.
That sounds
do you-
like a React issue.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's a Next.js fully exported site, so
Okay, yeah. I guess I can kind of see that because it will be slower to render on old devices, especially if
yeah.
you're manipulating the DOM in real time. What did Lovekesh say? CDN and AWS with Cloudflare. Ghost is running
Varnish.
in the background, but using Nginx and Varnish. Nice. So pretty much static for the most part, because between AWS, Cloudflare, and Varnish, I imagine very little makes it back to the server.
Yeah. I do see a login. Oh, so a login goes into your like forums, which is at the ask.subdomain. Cool. So I'm digging for feedback because you've checked all of the pretty essential boxes as far as performance, as far as SEO. Your overall layout is clean.
Let's see. Is there any content that's not Lovekesh? Maybe that would be the next step.
Make some pseudonyms up.
Well, it looks like if you're watching, you can join the Code Bulbs Writers Club.
Yeah.
So we'll encourage you to do that.
Also, if absolutely love what you did with the code blocks, if you go into go to the homepage.
Okay.
Oh, nice type form. Click on basic Git commands. It's third in the carousel.
Thank you. Basic Git commands.
And you scroll down. Evokes a lot of CSS tricks. As far as
you
design.
like these code blocks?
A little bit further down, those with the green on the label.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're very nice.
Yeah, those are cool.
My only thought to that would be the green on black. My eyes was having a hard time reading it, so green on white maybe.
Lovekesh, did you sample a terminal directly? Because those are pretty close to the colors, I think.
But Mason, you're talking about the
Git stat, not like the Git status command and stuff like that. Green, that green's a little bit dark, and in that black, I'm on a 4K monitor looking at this, I'm struggling to read it. So maybe just change the color up to just white, a higher or a lighter green, a more a light green. A pastel green would make it pop out, but a dark green on a dark black is a little bit difficult for my old eyes to be able to.
I mean, an alternative idea is have a second color theme that's kind of potentially light mode, because that's better for accessibility generally, and then tweak some of these to make sure they're super accessible. Even if these do hit WCAG standards, have a theme that's just that bit more accessible.
Yeah.
Honestly, overall, I think design is pretty solid. I think performance is solid. You have the foundation. So, what's your next move? Is going to more content, getting more signups. I saw a sponsorship here. Lovekesh, nice. Welcomes us all to write. Yeah, that's the move right there.
Cool. Well, let's we'll do things we like, things you might change. All right. So we've got that's the change. Add some articles by other authors. But we like the color scheme, the animations. We are impressed by your Lighthouse scores. Oh boy. This is one of those, I swear I know how to type when no one's looking. And then we like the code blocks, but consider changing that background color to maybe a lighter green or white. And then the color of that hero card, maybe darken it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anything else for Lovekesh?
No, I think we're pretty good. It's a lovely site.
Nice job, Lovekesh.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, and if you're watching and you're like, I want the Cloud Chats people to do I want them to look at my site. If you submit your site at do.co/cloudchats-rate, we'll pull up your site and do a review the next time we do this segment.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have one more
next week, but we go through it every section.
It probably won't be next week. So our next site is Shahid Yusuf. And we will pull that site up here. Awesome. This looks like a portfolio site to me.
Yep.
Love the cards.
Love the cards. Yeah, I like the little tabs. So we got home. Oh, cool.
Ah,
I like
Very
the
nice.
animations and the. I expected a like a resume like PDF to pop up. So this was a pleasant surprise. Tech stuff I know and have worked with. Okay. Work. Nice.
I dig it.
Awesome. I like
I
it.
really dig this. This is so clean and simple.
Yeah, I like and it definitely it's different than a lot of portfolio sites. Like you didn't use a template, so you're showing off some of your skills already. Like I said, I was delightfully surprised that I didn't get like just a resume. Nice.
Yeah, so some feedback on real early feedback is I think instead of waiting for somebody to hit contact to get your like Twitter and your GitHub, throw like a Twitter icon on the top, maybe next to your avatar that you have on the top left, or on the bottom where it says feel free to contact me,
Yeah.
which is a link to the contact anyway.
I like that. Add social icons next to your avatar or at the bottom of the page.
One thing that stood out to me was the home text at the top. It kind of just felt very lost and out the way, or the contact here.
Yes.
Now it kind of makes sense. Now that we've gone through it, it's the section title, but it just feels very on its own. And when I saw it initially, it made me think, oh, you've only got one page here.
That's a good, yeah. I would even just remove it, like the
Yeah, I think the title on the card itself kind of suffices to tell you where you are.
Yeah. As far as layout, I would more like center align everything. So the 3 dots you have in the middle kind of push the cards on the right and the left like towards the dots. So that I would rather have white space on the outside than on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so more center line, bring the cards closer to the 3 dots.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bring the cards closer to the 3 dots. Beautiful.
Could we view this on mobile? If you
Yes.
right,
with the good feedback on
if
chat.
you right click on into inspect again, Kim, we can get Chrome to do it for us.
Inspect. Do we want to run Lighthouse again, or just look at it
Let's
on
just do mobile first. So on the left,
Okay.
there's the little tablet and phone icon, and it will throw it into mobile, which I think may have highlighted an issue.
Let's do a.
You can go for
Galaxy.
responsive. Go for responsive on the instead of the Galaxy.
Okay. Thank you.
And
then
you
we
get
can
the
kind
little
of drag
handles.
things around.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it feels to me like mobile hasn't really been addressed.
Yes. Let's see.
Let's see. But yeah, if you stack one on top of the other, which shouldn't be.
You're kind of half doing that already. But I think there needs to be a width constraint set. And personally, I would maybe throw the cards in the other order so that your card that does the navigation is kind of more at the top where you'd expect navigation to be.
Yes. Oh, I see. So I'm looking at your Tailwind classes. You got Flex Column Reverse, which is the one class that does the reverse. And then, just put the Flex on large screens, which I'm looking through. But yeah, I don't think it'll take too much Tailwind work to make it responsive, which is nice.
Yeah, I'd say it's mostly there already. It just essentially needs that max width constraint and then being flipped.
Solid.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's. You guys think of one more thing, and then we'll. Give us.
Do you want to run Lighthouse on it? If we turn off the mobile emulation.
Yes. All right, and then to Lighthouse
and see what happens.
All right, and let's do desktop first. Auditing.
I like what Antalpa said in chat is make your contact button bigger. You want people to contact you. That's
Those are
how
some
you get the
decent
money.
scores.
Yeah,
Those are all very good scores. Let's do it on mobile.
Yeah, let's give that a shot as well.
So
Imagine it might throw a few issues given it's not.
The feedback is make the contact bigger. I'm going to add that to this. Move the contact or make it bigger. All right.
Oh, I think the contact at the bottom was potentially that feedback was maybe the contact at the bottom, whereas the note we had there was about the section link at the top.
You are correct. Make the contact link at the bottom of the page larger. All right. Let's see.
Lighthouse finish.
Lighthouse. All right. Looks like performance is the thing that's come back with the most warnings.
It's interesting. I ran it on my side and I got a 92 on performance.
Huh. What?
What's the stack here? If the person who submitted that is in chat, I'm wondering if, given the range of performance numbers, potentially it's being rendered server-side with not much caching in place?
Yeah, that's... I'm seeing a little svelte. Yeah. What's up, Cruises TV? On the Twitch side, we are doing some design reviews of websites.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting on the performance differences.
That is interesting.
I guess the note there would be just run it a few times on Lighthouse and see what it's flagging and see if you can fix those. I mean, like we said this before, like Lighthouse is not the be all and end all, but it gives you some solid recommendations and it is somewhat what impacts your ranking on Google.
All right, well, let's summarize the feedback. So I think I didn't capture all the things that we really liked about the site. So we love the cards. We love the portfolio site that isn't built from a template. Like the animations. Like we really like this site. It's pretty charming. So things we recommend you change.
Yeah, the UX generally is quite unique and wonderful.
Yeah. Add social icons to your avatar or up here. I'll close the inspector out. So people can figure out how to contact you right away. Remove this link at the top.
Do you want to change the word in there on the feedback? Like remove the section link at the top?
Perfect. Thank you. Remove the section link at the top of the page. Make this contact bigger so people can contact you.
Don't be afraid to sell yourself.
Align the cards so that they are closer to the dot, and then refactor so that the site works well on mobile.
Yeah.
Any other feedback?
I think that's solid. My small quick one is the dots in the middle I thought were buttons.
Yeah, I did too.
And that wraps it up for me. I think that's a great set.
I wonder actually with the cards closer to the middle, that might be less of an issue. And if it's if when you're working on this, it still feels like they're kind of something that users might think is a CTA, maybe make them a bit dimmer.
I like
more
that.
obvious that they're decorations.
Yeah, and another quick fix is the circle automatically makes it like clicky feeling. If you matched it with the card backgrounds of that like kind of skewed rectangle,
Squircle.
Could have the same effect, but not buttony.
I like that. I'm not going to be able to capture all that, so change.
This is
the dots.
Set,
in the middle of the page.
Do you want to put like to make them less button-like? So it's
Yes. Oh, Matt, you're so good. To make them less button-like. All right. This was super fun. I enjoyed this segment. So if you want to have us review your site in the future, let's see if I can find it. Yes, you can submit your site to do.co/cloudchats-rate. And whenever the segment pops up again, we'll just go there and see who's submitted some things. So do it.
We send you an email beforehand letting you know that we'll be talking about it on the show. And now that we're writing notes, I guess we can email those out as well.
Yeah, definitely can.
Yes, good call.
Awesome. Sometimes it's fun to just sit back and let the professionals rate stuff. And like I learned stuff just by listening to y'all. So I was being a passive watcher for the last 20 minutes.
Mason, we need your comments though, because you're like not someone that knows the ins and outs of this. So
no,
you can give us the more high level end user feedback almost.
I had a great time. Y'all covered everything. I'm learning. So it worked out. It worked out really good. And now it's time to move on to our favorite section, What's on Your Mind? And I think I just ripped out a cable from underneath my desk, so that's good. It's not on my mind yet, but it'll be there in a minute.
Disappear, so it wasn't that important.
Yeah, obviously. Nothing turned off, which is now even more concerning. But
yeah.
We will deal with that. So this is where we go around the room and just talk about what's on our mind. And as always, we start with Matt. So
sure. Hang on, I'm going to pull this up so that we have reference here, because this is a very interesting site. Let's convince this to do its thing. So what's on my mind? This turned up on Hacker News last week. It's honestly a bit of a meme and a dig at some proposed changes that Chrome surfaced around removing alert from JavaScript. Which, like, twofold is an issue for me. One, alert's quite useful. But also, two, if you've ever worked in the web, you'll know for a fact that almost always things don't disappear from the web. It's not like any other bit of programming where we have major versions that remove stuff or change stuff. The web is designed to be backwards compatible forever. And this blog post essentially just goes into, like, that premise of like the web's backwards compatible. Removing something like alert is a very unbackwards compatible change. Breaking. There's other posts as well on the internet. If you go and search about the whole alert situation, there's a lot of education concerns raised as well. And someone has released canistill.use.com. So this blog post goes into it. You've probably seen before caniuse.com, which gives you a rundown of what versions of a browser have a new feature. And
yeah,
so
we've seen charts that look like this before.
Yes, so if you go to Can I Use? This is the site that a lot of web devs will have been to before. Let's say, for example, we were curious about alert. Funnily enough, every browser supports it. But this whole site tells you what browsers support what features. So if you're looking at like a new feature, for example, like CSS Grid, the older browsers don't support it. And so this just lets you know. And so someone has created for us canistill.use.com.
Oh, I thought it was like a Spanish word when I just read the URL.
Oh, no. It's entirely just a dig at this remove alert.
Okay.
It's been on my mind.
It's a kind of low key snarky. I like that.
Yeah.
Wait, so Chrome's already made the decision this is going in.
I don't actually know the backstory on whether this is actually still going ahead or not, but it was definitely proposed by Chrome at one point recently that they were going to deprecate alert.
Yeah, I don't like any of this. Chrome doesn't get to dictate the programming of the web.
But it's just like even outside like Chrome making a decision like that, it's a breaking change for the web, which just doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, that shouldn't happen. And like Google already controls enough of the web; they don't need to control how we program the web.
Yeah,
I mean, they've pushed us towards this whole performance thing. They do, like, for better or worse, control a lot of where the web goes. But I think, like, go find something else to do. Like, don't mess with alert.
Solve the security issues. Like, there's still there's plenty of other problems to solve. Alert's doing nothing. It's hurting nobody. It's just sitting there annoying us and making us nostalgic of the 90s.
So,
It's
yeah,
in
there you
like
go.
30% of my demos.
Well, like from an education side of things, like it's so simple. You teach someone how to add two variables together, and then you tell them to alert it so they can see the
That
results.
is true.
Suddenly, that's not going to be a thing, and now you're going to have to teach them about DOM manipulation or whatever to try and output their code elsewhere.
Cruises
I'm gonna
TV.
yeah, I kind of I agree with this. I agree with this wholeheartedly. like yeah, you until Chrome doesn't need 16 gigs of RAM and 32 cores to run, I don't want to hear you talking about Alert.
Yeah,
I actually had to switch to Edge. That's how much and I like Chrome.
I'm still on Brave, but I don't know. You know how hard it is for me to move browsers? It takes forever. Like, I hate it.
Kim, what's on your mind?
All right. So I'm sharing this blog post by Maya Kadrowski. She's a really high profile security and Kubernetes person. I think she's worked at Google and now works at GitHub. This article definitely went around Twitter where she talks about how she burned out and quit her last job and how the pandemic made her burnout feel a lot different. So it's just on my mind. I burned out and quit my last job before DigitalOcean, and I took a couple months off between jobs. But I don't know. I'm just a lot different than I was prior to the pandemic, and I think I have to take care of myself in some more intentional ways than I used to. So this is what's on my mind, is this blog post.
Burnout is real.
Burnout is real. It's tough. And I don't know. We have been through an unprecedented time the last year and a half. And sometimes I don't think we don't talk about it enough. Or we just like carry on like nothing has changed. But lots of things have changed. So if you can, take care of yourself. And I'm going to toss it to Chris.
Yeah. So here in Vegas, we have finally gotten our first professional team. Well, not first professional. We got a football team, and that's American football team. And they have been building the stadium for like a few years now, like 4 or 5 years. And I just keep driving past it, seeing this thing.
Whoa, that's cool looking.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The architecture is fantastic. Like all of it is glass windows, and out through the side here, there's like this giant torch that looks at the Las Vegas Strip. And the inside of it, like you can see the torch right on the back edge of there. But like it's amazing. The entire grass field in the middle, it actually rolls out to come outside for like outdoor games or like practice.
Oh, cool. Jeez.
It rolls out like
the whole field rolls.
But
you just roll it up like a towel and you turn it in the other direction and unroll it.
No, but question. There's sprinklers.
Yeah.
So they roll out real grass, not AstroTurf.
So the real grass actually lives out here until it's ready for games, and then like if somebody not the Raiders, like not the actual team comes and plays, they give them the turf, so they don't give them the real stuff. So that's why they pull the grass out.
Okay, we're just gonna go with that. I have questions, but
it's engineering wise, it's fantastic. Like the thing
that's
comes
amazing.
down, rolls around, and so this will be my first time ever getting to see it and be in the stadium this weekend. So I'm excited for that.
Oh, that's awesome. So is a Raiders game happening in the stadium for the first time?
No, so they've been playing, but I'm gonna go for a college game.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds fun. So we
UNLV?
No, actually, it'll be BYU and ASU, I believe.
Oh, cool. All right.
Oh. We actually just built a football not American stadium here in Austin. We don't have a team, but we have a stadium. We have like a FC football stadium. It's pretty cool, but not as cool as this. This is way cooler than our
Did I hear that
So-
correctly? A proper football stadium. for
Yes,
proper
we have.
football.
There's a proper football stadium in Austin. So
Wow, how exciting!
oh my goodness.
right,
Uh,
Mason,
Right, bring some
close-
British salt to the table.
I enjoy.
I mean, most
We
of
have
the
a-
world is on
Hey.
that side of things.
Andrew says we have Austin FC, so I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Also, Andrew is our winner for Cloud Chats and is also in Texas, and I found that really exciting because not that far from me. So maybe we'll see each other in a meetup sometime in the future. So what's been on my mind? So I'm back in grad school, and this is all that's going to be on my mind for the next 3 years. Hopefully not that long, please, not that long. But I'm taking operating systems, yay, fun. But I'm also taking game development because I finally got over myself and told myself I don't need to take all the really advanced courses. I just want the degree. So I was like, I'm going to take game development. It sounds like fun. And it actually is. Like, I went through and did my first assignment and like made a little ball roll around the screen and collect coins. And it's tedious. Like, there's so much. It's so tedious. There's so many small things that you have to do. And there's a lot of them. But it's surprisingly rewarding. Like, you just get stuff that immediately appears. And it was the first time in a very long time that I felt like wonder at computer programming again. Like that, which, like, those moments are few and far between, and you have to cherish them because once you've been doing this for a while, it doesn't excite you like it used to, which is sad. Like, that's part of the burnout. It's what you have to watch out for. But like, I sat there, making my little game that is like, it's a Unity tutorial. Like, some very cheeky British person narrated exactly how to do it in like 60 YouTube videos. And I did it and it worked. And then I was able to modify it. And it wasn't that hard to modify. Like, once you kind of like got the swing of how Unity works, it's actually very intuitive. I found like the programming aspect was pretty intuitive. Like, if you can see it in the panel, it's got an attribute, you can modify it via code. And I got to play with C#, which I've never played with before. I've never touched C#, and I kind of like C#. Reminds me of Java. It's like if C and Java had a child, you'd have some Java. So that was interesting. And it was just nice. It was nice to feel wonder at coding again because it's been a while.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that is what's on my mind. Anyone have any last thoughts before we move on?
I'm expecting some future Lightning tutorials from you now that are game dev stuff.
I actually will if we think that people want to see Unity-based tutorials. The thing is, it takes so long to get. Yeah, I'll look into it. I'll figure out how I can do it. Like, they're not Lightning tutorials. These are 3-hour workshops at a conference kind of thing. They're long. They take time.
Well, can you not do one thing like just here's how to implement a single collider or something?
I could do something like that. I'll figure it out. And unfortunately, we're doing, like Cruz says, Unity on the web would be fun, something 2D. I'm actually, the one part of the course that makes me upset is that I have to do a 3D game, and I hate 3D games. I don't hate them, but like, I have such nostalgia for like 2D side scrollers. Like, I still think Stardew Valley is like the ninth wonder of the world. It is a masterpiece. So I can sit there forever and just pick turnips and be happy for the rest of my days. But yeah. So, if that's all we have, then let's move on to our upcoming events. Kim, you are live streaming on Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Tell us about this.
Yes, so we've got our Twitch channel, which some of you are joining us from. Hello, at DigitalOcean TV, and I'm live streaming every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm just doing like either work that I have to get done, usually Kubernetes related, or like exploring a Kubernetes tool. So some people who I've seen in the chat were at my live stream this week. Thanks for coming back. But this week I spun up a DigitalOcean managed Kubernetes instance and then installed Jaeger, which is a distributed tracing platform on there, and got halfway through instrumenting an app to be able to talk to Jaeger, but didn't finish. But it's fun time, very casual. feel free to join me. And then this next thing I'm super excited about, I'm going to share my screen. So next Wednesday, I'm going to be joining Ambassador Labs, and they have had this really cool program this summer called Summer of Kubernetes. And they have had 3 different modules, code, ship, and run. And every week they have a learning session. And so you can tune in on Twitch and watch somebody explain what's going on. But the thing that's so cool about this program is that you actually submit like check for understanding questions to the facilitator and get feedback. You can win prizes, and then there are office hours where you can interact with the person. So next Wednesday, I'm going to be running the session. It's about observability in Kubernetes with Prometheus and Grafana. So join me. You can get $100 of DigitalOcean credits to spin up a Kubernetes cluster with me, to install Prometheus and Grafana. And then we'll be installing something called the Ambassador Edge Stack, which is an ingress load balancer, and then like being able to visualize that in Grafana. But this program is special because you get to interact so closely with the facilitator. You get feedback. You can win prizes. So check it out. I'm really excited for it. DigitalOcean and Ambassador Labs have been working really closely together to make this a fun experience. So I would love to see you there. And so that's what's happening next week.
Awesome. And I had a tech talk next week, but we've had to unfortunately cancel it. And actually, earlier in our show, we talked about the discord.py situation. So the Discord tech talk next week will not be happening. It's really unfortunate. Hopefully open source maintainers and companies will learn how to play nicely with each other. I'm still hopeful of that. But if we ever get another robust Python Discord library in the ecosystem, I will happily come back and do that tech talk again when it is, responsible to do so. So with that, I think that's all we have coming up.
And that leaves just one thing. Our
Joke.
favorite moment of the entire show.
Just one thing, yes.
One of
Okay.
the biggest reasons I came back.
I was missing my jokes. Okay, here we go. What does the baby computer call its father?
Ooh.
Data.
Okay.
Ah,
pretty
there we
good.
go. Yep. That's all the time we have this week for Cloud Chats. We'll be back the same time next week.
See you then.
Thanks, everybody. See you
Thanks,
soon.
everybody.